my 2016 Audi RS7, replacing the stock aluminum spoiler with this carbon fiber spoiler. It has a bit more of a lip on it. I previously had this on my 2012 A7. I had a few problems with it though because it would always clamp down since it goes past the point. It would always be rubbing. So it sticks out quite a bit further, about that much farther, and it would be pressing down on this and giving me faults as if it wasn't fully closed because it's like amping out, I believe. It also was slightly scuffing up the paint here. So what I bought was this big roll of rubber. It's got self-stick on one side, you clean it up. But I'm gonna put it on this, I'm not gonna put it on that, so that when it closes, hopefully the wind from this, the protection from the wind will keep it from ripping off. But I'm just gonna put it right along here because this is the edge that it clamps down onto that blue panel. This didn't come quite ready. It already had some helicoils in it. They're actually pretty strong. I thought they were gonna come out, but they're pretty well in there. But these were just indentations, and as you'll see later in the video, I had to drill these out because there's two pegs that need to slot into there. That's the way it was on my A7. It's probably going to be the same way on this, but who knows, maybe they updated it because this is the facelift version. Something else that kind of helps with it is they put these little nets in here, because before I lost one of the screws because it fell into there, and I took the whole hatch panel apart in order to pull the screw out. I was able to get one of them, but the other one is still in my sister's car, which used to be my old A7. I had to use a different screw. I simply could not find it. I rattled the car a bunch. I tried to use a magnetic peg to pull it out. Could not find it. So now it is lost into the ether. Such is life with cars. But I will do a little montage video here and then show you what it looks like after. I'll probably paint it blue to match the car, get the car detailed so it looks good. Or maybe I'll do the silver, or maybe I'll do this silver. It's very similar to me because I'm colorblind, but I've heard that this does not match that. This is like a brighter, and this is a dollar silver. It looks the same to me, but you know, ignorance is bliss, as they say, so I'll let you know how it goes. So it just started raining here. A little bit of sprinkling. You can't even see it, but it's enough to get it wet, so put all my tools inside. Moving all this stuff out of the rain. And I'm going to keep moving forward. Just as Galaxy Quest says, never retreat, never surrender. So hopefully you guys can see this workspace with the plastic in the way. So what I'm going to do for this to bond pretty well is I'm going to take some Scotch-Brite to this surface right here, because this is the part that contacts the back plate of the actual car. And I'm just going to scuff it up a bit. Not a whole lot, just going to give it a good rough surface to bond to. It's kind of nice because the water's already on it from the sprinkling, so I didn't have to run inside to get water. Just like a ninja, you got to use your environment to your advantage. Dry, it looks like I need to scuff up this corner just a little bit more. Didn't really get it that well. Now I'm just going to take the rubber stripping I got from Amazon. There. Smooth. Give it a cut. Be careful. Be careful if you're not going to have it detailed again. So, just going to do some phases. around here. So you see better. From this side, left about 1/8 of an inch. So I'll do the same here. About 1/8 of an inch. Just slice it nice and easy. Nice and easy. Slice. Nice and easy. There we go. Fantissimo. Scrap. And there we go. Now we have, press it down one more time. Hopefully it does stick. I'll use the alcohol pad next time if this comes off, but yeah, it's 3M, so it should hold pretty well. See here. So let's add a little bit of height to it. Hopefully the servo motor doesn't kick off a fault saying that there's something wrong with it, but it's a little crooked, but for the most part it looks pretty good. And the carbon looks amazing. I got this for $110 plus about $50 shipping, so $160 total from Alibaba of all things. So it was probably made by some kid in a sweatshop, but that kid did one hell of a job because this carbon looks amazing. Looks really good. M and L spoiler. Let's flip this around. M and L spoiler XP601-2. So who knows if this company's still around. It was Alibaba, but you could find one like this, and it looks pretty dope. You know? It's got a very aggressive. So the normal spoiler ends right here. That's as far as the normal spoiler goes. So then this lays on top of the bracket, and then this whole lip sticks out even more. And even when the spoiler's not up, it looks more aggressive because it's kind of like tailing the car up instead of following the same swoop down that the car has. So if you like that look, don't get this one, but if you want something a little more sports car-y, aggressive looking, this looks great when it's down, looks amazing when it's up. So 4 bolts here, they came with Loctite on. It's definitely a good idea because there's that much thread engagement. About 4 or 5 threads maybe. So I'm gonna clean these up, try not to lose them in the grass. And I have my own blue Loctite I'm gonna use. You don't have to buy a whole bottle. Some places sell the little packets that are like this big. These are just wipes, but they sell packets that are like this at like O'Reilly's or something of a little bit of Loctite. You don't have to get a whole $12 bottle of it. So yeah, I'm gonna clean these up and move on to the next step. As you can see here, those are the pegs that stick up that have to go into those holes that I had to drill out. Before they were just indentations. And then, you know, the screws obviously go into those threaded portions there. They have a helicoil inserted and glued in there. So I'm just gonna place this on top. Place this on top, just like so. Do the same thing to the other side. Right there. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. Be careful because this thing is very easy to fall off because it's much lighter. It is much lighter than the stock spoiler. And you kind of see what it would look like with it up. And it looks pretty cool when it's down too. It has a very more aggressive profile. And it kind of looks cool being carbon. I had it on a black car. Previously I had this on my black A7, so it didn't stand out very much, but it stands out a lot on this blue car. It looks actually really great, honestly. You know, without that blanket here, you can imagine it looks pretty dope. I don't know, I might keep it that way, I might paint it, I'm not sure. But actually we're gonna weigh these because I brought a scale out. Brought a scale, so it's considerably lighter. Okay, so I have the spoiler in my hand and I'm holding my camera and my gimbal. With the spoiler, I'm 247 point, boy, 247.0. Okay. Now with the carbon fiber spoiler, $244. So it is 3 pounds lighter. Not a whole lot. It doesn't feel like that. It honestly feels like it weighs nothing. This definitely feels like it has some sort of heft to it. So 3 pounds lighter. I don't know what the total weight is because, well, what I can do is just weigh myself with the camera and the gimbal. So 241 pounds with the camera, gimbal, myself. So subtract 247. So this weighs about 6 pounds, and then this would weigh about 3 pounds. So you're saving 3 pounds. 3 pounds of weight. What I have noticed is that 3 pounds of weight lost when you're doing service. When you're doing service to this, the weight of that 3 pounds is calculated into the strength of the struts. And so if you turn off the motor and you just have this free hanging, sometimes it won't stay where you want it to, because when I'm installing this, sometimes it's easier to have this thing up elevated in a certain way to try to get it in there. But now I have a tool that works. I literally just took a Torx bit and I taped it inside of this, and that's really all you need. I tried using a ratcheting wrench, but just too much bulk, you know, and there's only like 5 threads on it, so it's not a whole lot to turn. And you can literally just tape it to it, close it, pinch it, stretch the tape over it, make it nice and tight, like you're making an arrowhead. I don't know if you made an arrowhead, but you make it pretty tight. All right, so we're just gonna install this thing and get it all lined up. So the hardest thing to do is align this thing, but honestly, what I found is that as long as this whole piece that rotates around, see how, let me zoom in on that. See how it rotates around? As long as that's centered, it's pretty much centered. Even with it from the factory, you're gonna get this. So this spoiler was factory installed, the previous one, and you can still see here that the paint has been rubbing into, it'll zoom in on that. The paint has been rubbing into it, and you'll get some of that. You'll probably get more depending on how you fit it, but there's really no good way to fit it, because when this thing is driving, the wind is pushing down on it, and so it's gonna rattle like this. This is exaggeration, but it's gonna rattle like this. And so when you're on the highway, going 83, you know, and then you drop below 60, I believe is when it goes down. Even when 60 miles an hour of air, this thing is rattling like this. So these corners are gonna dig into this when it's going down. You can try to, I'm not gonna do it, but you can try to use a Dremel tool and round that off, and then put some new epoxy on it, or new epoxy or clear coat, whatever you want to do to reinforce it. But I'm not gonna do that. I like it being sharp. So as you can see here, I got a little bit of Loctite. It's more like torque paint, but it works both ways with this brand, Steelman Security Seal. But you can use any torque paint, you don't have to use this. So again, I'm just gonna clean off the threads. I like to go crazy when cleaning off threads, especially with small thread engagement. I really want to make sure that it's getting a good seal, especially with this area. These things are kind of hard to line up once you go to put them in, because there is such small thread engagement, and going into the aftermarket helicoils that are in there instead of the, you know, it's not a full aluminum body on it. Now it's nice at being a helicoil because it's a little bit stronger material than aluminum, but they are the stock bolts, and I had a big issue putting in the A7 last time, so I want to make sure these are nice and clean. And this Loctite takes a long time to actually cure, which is good, because you're going to want to put it on there, put them in a few threads, and have it loose enough to where you can move it around and align it and look at it and eyeball it the best you can. I've not found any way, or like material or anything from the manuals to say how to line that thing up, so I'm pretty sure it's just by eye, unless they have some sort of bracket or like unless they have some sort of bracket from the factory that they do it with, but I haven't seen anything, some sort of guide or channel. But I will be your channel and your guide. It's going to be art. So just put a little bit on there, a lottle bit, snip it up. Oh, that was way too much. So too much, okay, just spread it around to maybe keep it 3 bolts. Yeah, that's enough for 3. It's starting to rain here again. We're gonna take the kids to the water park today, but it's chilly and raining in July, which is kind of nice because it's been hot. So it's probably sunny today. Like now is. So let's do a little ops check. So this might need a little bit of adjustment or some brackets. See how much farther it's sticking up because I put that rubber pad on there. So that's protecting the paint, but now it is causing the whole thing to rise, which from this angle looks really bad, but kind of far away it's kind of unnoticeable. But I also don't want that putting too much stress on the bolts themselves. Just kind of see how it looks when it's down. Kind of helps out with the sportiness of it. But yeah, so probably have to get some washers made to put in there. The problem with the washer is the screw is not long enough, so this may cause an issue staying on there. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? This side's honestly up higher. This side's up way higher. What you can see in there. Put it back up. Staying tight in there. So what you can do is you can shift this part back and forth. You can move it around, and these outer brackets will shift around that gray bracket. The black brackets will shift around the gray bracket. And you can move it back and forth. And so I'm probably going to loosen this one and push it forward a little bit, and that should alleviate some of the pressure that is on this side. That's why it's sticking up so much.